So here I am, yet again, going to bed at 2 a.m. Despite the fact that I truly believe, then again, don't we all do things that are detrimental to us, you know? My primary care physician is a nurse practitioner. She wasn't concerned about this thing. But I am. It has black on it, it's bubbled. But, you know. I was gonna see 50 Shades tomorrow, but I really didn't feel like it. I just want to make sure it's still playing. And it appears that it will still be playing next week. Whereas with Grandma, Grandma's not going anywhere. Grandma went to bed early, so. Oh, the two valid reasons to allow Omar to be with Grandma. I ate late, but I shouldn't have. See, if I would just go to bed on time, it would kill two birds with one stone. It would have me go to bed like I should be doing at a reasonable hour. And then I wouldn't be able to eat late because I wouldn't be up to eat. Dirt, Laura. I got some stuff done today. Not really, though. I at least, watched my videos and took them off private. But as for cleaning the room, not so much. It's supposed to have a bit of a heat wave, which is actually kind of funny because it's really not a heat wave. It's, what it's supposed to be all the time now. This time of year it's not, and then it's going to go back to the 20s, but it's supposed to be in the 40s tomorrow. We got some snow yesterday, but not really much. So Boston has reached, has broken the record. And Boston's not even supposed to get hit with any snow Thursday, so, I don't think we're gonna make the record, peeps. I don't think we're gonna go down in history. I think it might just wind up being second on the snowiest record. Snowiest winter ever. Not the first. Oh well. So I wanted any of you out there who care about me, and you know who you are. Sometimes I don't even know who you are, but you know who you are. To know that I'm glad that I finally became a Google Plus member. and did what I'd wanted to do, which was, of course, that only happened because, you know, Auntie found out about my YouTube channel, and then there was no reason for me to hide it anymore, you know. I'm glad it's more out in the open now for me. I'm glad I became a Google Plus member, changed my channel from Down With This Life 1 to Alicia Roll Lives On. And what I'm most glad about is that now that I'm a Google Plus, I've always enjoyed doing my videos. You guys know that. But what you might not be aware of, some of you, a lot of you, because not everybody who's involved in YouTube knows all the intricacies of YouTube, you know. When Google Plus became the thing you were supposed to do with your channel, if you didn't become a Google Plus member, you don't lose your channel, but what happens is you are no longer allowed to make comments on YouTube videos. So you can watch your YouTube videos. You can, if you have your own channel, if you have your own videos, you can approve comments other people make on your videos. Of course, those will all be Google Plus members. But you can't comment back, even on your own channel. So I've loved it, even when it changed to that, and, you know, so I couldn't have interaction with you guys, but I could still read your comments, and it was just a one-sided thing. I'm loving the back and forth. I'm loving it. It's like it's like my channel evolved, and now it's something new where I can interact with you guys. Now, of course, I was interacting with some of my email friends, but they could be counted, you know, on less than one hand at the time that I became a Google Plus member, you know. I've increased a couple since then. It just brought it to a whole new level. It really did. It brought it to a whole new level where I could have back and forth with you guys. Now, of course, I used to be able to have back and forth long before YouTube was what it was. But remember, I've only recently really, you know, become known out here, and, you know, I mean, relatively recently, over the last couple of years. I mean, so, and Google Plus, I forget when it became, when I found out that I could no longer comment on my own videos, couldn't comment on any video, couldn't respond to you guys, etc., etc. Like a year ago, maybe. But in any case, I like to be able to have the back and forth. It's much more, you know, intimate than when I was just approving comments, reading all of them, of course, and approving or not approving, you know, as the case may be, depending. I told you I don't approve anything that's too vicious, although I occasionally have approved a vicious comment here or there. For the most part, new. Yeah, the back and forth really brings it to another level for me. And I like that. It's not like I never had it. I did have it back when I was less known, you know. Why'd you stay up this time where I was doing shit? What were you doing, huh? I'm watching Jimmy Kimmel while ripping up my mom's old things that she just kept that she didn't need. They're just taking up space. That I got when I cleaned her room for her before she came home from the hospital. And then I'm like, you never got rid of any of this stuff. She's like, I know, I was gonna shred it all. I know, but Mom, there were checks here from like 20 years ago, over 20 years ago. No. So I'm going through it all and ripping up all the stuff that's not, you know, that's old crap. And that took time, but this big bag of stuff was in my closet, and I need that room for my stuff, so it's something I needed to do. And again, I didn't do the tedious stuff today. Instead, I got all caught up in watching all my videos that I hadn't watched and that were on private, all the recent ones. That took up most of my day. I'll end with this. My mom and I, you know, don't really eat fast food. You know, like McDonald's, Burger King, hamburgers, Wendy's, or anything like that. I used to. Once in a while. Not anymore. I do like to get occasionally the pizza, like at a food court in a mall, different malls or whatnot. The fancier pizza, not like Peppuccinos or Domino's or something like that, but I like to occasionally do that. But you know, for the most part, I don't eat like any kind of fast food. Okay, not that that's my mama. So our version, I was joking with her because we did today. She made Annie's organic macaroni and cheese. The organic earth balance and organic milk, okay? And I fried up 3 cans of organic green beans and 4 Amy's quinoa walnut or made with organic grains garden burgers. 4 of those. I fried them up in Nativa organic coconut oil. Mixed it all with the macaroni and cheese. Now, obviously it's high in sodium, and it's still fat. It's like, you know, it's processed food. It's not like when I make my soups or something. You know what I mean? So I was joking with my mom, like, this is like our version of fast food, Mom, since you and I don't eat fast food, you know. And it was delicious. And then I had some more at 1 a.m. along with some of my mom's fruit and nut cascading from organic granola. I was joking with my mom the other night. I'm like, you eat this granola every day practically for breakfast, so to you it's like not special, but to me, because I don't eat it, I felt like something sweet the other day, so I had some of her granola. And I had a little bit tonight with my maple syrup and sunflower pumpkin seeds and almonds and my Pacific organic oat milk, and then I had a little bit of my mom's cottage cheese. Bottom line is I should have gone to bed. I shouldn't have ate anything at 1. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Next time, do better. You've been saying that, I know. I know. I have to do it. Anyway, I want to tell anybody who cares about me that I love the back and forth. And I love to again be able to comment on my own videos if the mood strikes me, and by comment on my own videos I mean if somebody writes a comment that hits a chord with me and I want to respond, I can do that again. Somebody posted a comment in one of my videos, something like, great video. It was one of my real depressing, suicidal videos, one of it. It's a video from 4 years ago, so I wrote to her, I wrote back, I said, thank you, if you like my videos, then please check out some of my newer ones. I also talked about how I escaped Donald and Hope, and miraculously even, escaped out of state with Omar, and sometimes people stumble across my videos. I mean, that's an old video from 4 years ago. If you like my video, check me out now. Check out my latest videos if you feel so inclined. I've watched the preview a couple times. I think I'm gonna like that these are unknowns playing Anastasia and Christian in the 50 Shades of Grey. Because people have said stuff like, it should have been Christian Bale, or it should have been so-and-so, but I like that I have no idea. I've never seen that male actor in my life, in anything. And really don't know, I don't think I've seen Dakota Johnson either, So I think that's kind of cool that these are people that I've never, aren't known to me in movies or on TV or something. Kind of like that. I don't know. It'll be interesting. I was gonna go tomorrow. I still might. You never know. I might, it'll really depend on if I'm able to sleep or not tonight. Sometimes my bub is quiet. I'm just really not obligated to be quiet. And sometimes people call and the phone rings, or she has to call. Things that aren't her fault and whatnot. So I'm letting her have over. Like I said, she went to bed early and I don't want to bug him. He's a weird one anyway. I'm stirring in the house and I hear him like barking when I go and get him. I've said to him before, he'll do that even when I'm like, I'm your owner. What the hell are you barking and doing that to me for? I'm like, weirdo. I'm your owner. I own your ass. I was watching the cutest thing that popped up on MSN. It's a video, but it sparked Hulk, 175-pound pit bull. And this family, they breed them and whatnot, and they love the dogs to death. And he grew up with their kid, and you know, and he's 175-pound pit bull. And they don't just have this 175-pound pit bull. And the guy's like, people have offered them $100,000 and whatever, and he's like, I wouldn't give Hulk up. He's a part of the. He's one of a kind. I wouldn't give him up for $10 million. This big, giant, fucking 175-pound football. And he's not the only dog in the family. They also have this little tiny dog. You see him sitting on the couch, this little dog, and then Hulk. And he's huge. And he hangs out with the 3-year-old. They're 3-year-old, and, you know, and they're not concerned at all, they say. And the cutest thing is a 175-pound pit bull. Of course, people think they're crazy. You shouldn't have your kid around, that they're unpredictable, and they don't care. They're like, you know, they're not buying it. They trust their kid's life with this dog. You know, the fact of the matter is, any dog, like they said, it's, people think it happens all of a sudden, but no, there were warning signs and whatnot. But any dog can turn on a kid. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be a pit bull. And the kid rides the dog, the 3-year-old rides the 175-pound Hulk. But he's a trained dog, you know what I mean? So like they say, he's used to anything a kid could probably do could possibly do to startle him or whatnot isn't going to faze him, because he's trained as a, you know, he's trained to deal with all kinds of shit. But he's their personal dog, and they adore him. It's so funny because he's this huge 175-pound pit bull. You know, this is just an exceptionally large pit bull. We got pit bulls, and then we got Hulk. And then they have this little tiny, I don't even know what kind of dog it is, but it's like, you know, it's smaller than Omar. It's this little thing. They got the little thing, they got Hulk, and then their 3-year-old, and it is so cool. I'm going to bed, but if it's still there tomorrow, maybe I'll link it to under Selena's comments so she could see Hulk. 175-pound pit bull, gigantic thing. God. To me, the little dog, there's no mention in the thing, they don't talk about, you see him, just, you know, this little dog is like the size of Hulk's head. This little thing smaller than Omar. Obviously, the little dog is part of the family too. You know, it's like Hulk and the little dog, and then I guess their husband and wife, and then the 3-year-old, or their whatever, they're together, and then 3-year-old kid. Oh, and then this thing going viral, a weasel, it was taken in the